The students to clear the calculators. So second plus 712, that clears it. And so then I gotta make it darker again. So there's two places to find stat diagnostic on. One is catalog, like it shows on your notes. The second is mode. Mode is next to second. And I think y'all are good. Let me focus in a little bit. And there's things that we're going to be using is right here where it says float. This is where you can round. So float is where you want to keep it at. But if you want it to round for you, 0 of course is a whole number, 1 is to the nearest tenth, 200th, 3,000ths, and so on. And then down here you have stat diagnostic off after you reset it and press enter on. And then if to get out of it, you can hit second quit or just hit stat. So number one, the first one, we are going to use the data below, find the equation of the line of best fit using the calculator. Round the decimals to the nearest what? Hundreds. So that'd be 2 decimal places. So reminder, L1 is X and L2 is Y. So we're going to go to stat, edit, and press enter, and then you're going to enter your points. So you don't want to go left and right. You want to enter all the X's. 4. And after each one, press enter. The instructions are on your notes right there. Stat, then edit, and press enter. -9, 2, and 2. And then once you've entered your data, you're going down to instructions number 3. And again, they were also given to you, which I told you to cut out and put in your spirals on notes number 10. And they are in Google Classroom. So, stat, go to the right to calculate, and number 4. So we're going to be using 4, 5, and 0 this year. 5 is quadratic and 0 is exponential. So number 4. Notice that it automatically goes to L1 and L2, and you can put your data anywhere you want to. You can put it in 3 and 4. If you're doing, if you have a question on a problem and you go to something else, but you don't want to retype, you can go to other things. So you can change those L1 and L2. They're above, if you look above 1, 2, 3 through 6, you'll see a blue L1 through L6. Okay, so you're gonna press enter all the way through, and boom, it gives you your everything. So y equals, let me unzoom here. Wrong way. Y equals AX plus B is how it's written. And so y equals MX plus B is how it should be written. And so the A and the M are the slope. So for rounding to the nearest hundredth, how many decimal places is that? 2. Okay, so let's go over the rules of rounding real quick before we decide we don't want to round. So 2 decimal places, so 0.80, what's after the 0? 5, so does it round up or round down, or stay the same? Up. So we get negative 0.81. So y equals negative 0.81, then what comes next? After the M is what? X. And then plus your B, and B happens to be negative, so -4. So notice the difference in the calculator and the screen below. The screen's in black. Is there any big difference? No. So this is Calculate 84, or Calculate 84, the app that you can use at home if you don't have a TI-84 calculator. So it basically is the same thing. Okay, next we want to find the correlation coefficient. Now the correlation coefficient is displayed behind the letter R. Not R squared, R. And the R squared is called the correlation of determination. So the R value in this one is going to be negative 0.9798.19. So, and then we want to round to the nearest, it didn't say. The next one is round to the nearest hundredth, I'm pretty sure. No, thousandths. Round to the nearest thousandths. Which one, what would be thousandths? And what if you forgot? How would you find out? Well, here's one way. So like 1 divided by 100 is 0.01. 1 divided by 1,000 would be 0.001. So it's 3 decimal places, is it thousands. Okay, so we're gonna go to mode again. And we are going to, instead of float, take it to a 3. So tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay. Second quit takes you out. And then instead of going back through and doing stat calculate number 4, you go back up and you highlight it, press enter, it copies it, press enter again, and it does it again. So my R is what? So what would be my negative 0.980? So negative 0.980. If you like putting a 0 in front of your decimal, you certainly may. I do not. Okay? Now, take a second, read the next little group, and basically, out of everything, you need to know when it is weak and when it is strong. So the negative is basically your direction. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is your data, which comes from your slope. And did I leave the negative off the equation? Nope, good. But the 0.98 tells you if it's strong or weak. So, strong or weak, what do y'all think? So a perfect one is 1. So when we do 2 points, you're gonna get a 1 every time. So is 0.98 pretty close to 1? Yes. And so the cutoff is 0.5. So if it's less than 0.5, it's weak. If it's greater than a half, it is strong. So this would be, our first one would be strong and negative. Okay. Number 2, we're gonna do it again. So, stat, edit, and so what I don't like using rounding is I don't like the extra zeros on in my table. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to mode and change it to float. So stat, edit, and y'all go ahead and put your data in, please. So to clear the numbers, good question. Go up to L1, and just like the note said on number 10, you press clear, then enter. If you delete L1 and L2, you deleted it. So clear, then enter. So in our Get More Math, it doesn't put the two questions together. You're gonna have two of them that's gonna ask for the correlation coefficient, and you're gonna have two that are gonna ask for the equation. But instead of having us write or put in several different tables, I went ahead and combined it all. Okay, so before we keep going, we need to read a teeny tiny bit. First off, what column is this, X or Y? X. This is your X column, and this is your Y column. So if you look at your notes on your word problem, you have an S and an N. So you need to back up and read what that is. So the number of houses visited is N. So N is X or Y? X. And S is the number of candles sold. So my Y equals S. So we're going to use a different variable. And we are rounding our equation to the nearest tenth. Okay? Questions? Okay, so once you have done stat calculate, number 4, you don't have to do it again. You can. You can go second quit. You can go back up, grab it, and press enter again. And it'll do it for you. If you want to do it again, you're more than welcome to. It doesn't matter. So I start off with Y equals or S equals to write my equation. S equals. There we go. So S equals, and I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, so is the 0 going to do anything to my 5? No. So what comes after 2.5? X, or in this case, N. And then minus what? 2.5. Okay? So if I want, for the correlation coefficient, if I want it to round, I would go to mode and change it to tenths, hundreds, thousands to a 3. Or I can go 3 back. What is the 8? Oh, what is the 4 going to do to the 9? Is it going to round it up? No. So that has to be 5 or greater. So our R value is 0.999. Okay, so is it strong or weak? Strong. It's nearly $1. And I think of, when I'm looking at my decimals, I tend to think of money. So 99 cents is really close to $1. It is very strong, and it is positive. And that is it.